غرباء 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 غرباء.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله والسلام عليه تسليما كثيرا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد إن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Let me begin first, Ikhwani, by saying that we're all brothers and sisters. إنما المؤمنون إخوة. Verily, the believers are brothers. And when we go into any masjid, anywhere, we see different complexions, colors, backgrounds, different sexes. People have different abilities. That one has special needs. That one is extraordinarily intelligent. This one is very rich. That one is very poor. That one over there, unfortunately, was abused. We have brothers who come from Syria. I have a new student from Syria. We have to pay extra concern to them and attention because I dealt with Syrian kids when I went over there and they have mental problems because of what they've seen all their lives. So whenever you go into a masjid, you see somewhere a lot of Muslims, we're all brothers. All brothers. So I had a brother in America, he died. I have two older sisters from the same mother and father. Anything that I want to say to my sisters in the way of advice, I'm not scared. First of all, they're my sisters, so I'm not scared of them. And also, I love them, and they're non-Muslims, so why should I be scared of them? I give dawah to my mother and my father. I'm not scared to tell them what I think about what they're doing and what they're not doing. And I don't say that bragging because I'm strong and I'm better than anyone, because I think this is the same with most of you. If you care about someone, your wife, your husband, your child, who in his right mind is going to be afraid to tell his child, don't play with fire, don't play with matches, don't play in the street. He's afraid to tell his child because the child may get upset. No. So because we're all brothers, I'm not reluctant or afraid to tell you. We have to learn about our deen. I always tell the people, look, you don't have to give the khutbah. Friday khutbah, Eid khutbah. You don't have to do that. You don't have to memorize all of the Quran. You don't have to memorize all of Sahih Bukhari. But there are some basic things that the Muslim has to know, guys. Basic things in Aqidah, basic things about Salat, basic things about Zakat, basic things about Sawm, basic things about Hajj, basic things about Wudu. There were some people, they are like Allah described in the Quran, talking about the Kuffar Quraysh and Ahlul Kitab. And we always mention this ayah. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. Some people worship Allah, they don't know what they're doing. Christians are like that. I was in Birmingham the other day with my daughter. I went to the city center. And as we were leaving the city center, some white guy came up to me and he saw me dressed. He said, "Are you from Nigeria?" I said, "No." What do you mean? I could tell he wanted to give me dawah to that stuff. He said, well, I had something in your language, Nigerian, I wanted to give it to you. I said, about what? Jesus Christ, Christianity? He said, yes. I said, listen very carefully. My days of worshiping a manufactured white man as my God is over. I don't worship white people, meaning the Jesus that they manufactured with the white, blue eyes, blonde hair. He said to me, well, what, you a racist? I said, no, don't call me a racist. Don't ask me that question. But I want to ask you, the Jesus on this stuff you have, this literature, is that consistent with the description in the Bible? He didn't want to answer. He didn't want to answer. But he kept saying to me, am I a racist? And then I said, okay, am I a racist? You have some nerve and audacity to try to give me a religion that's racism in it. As an African-American man of color, your religion helped me to be enslaved, and you want me to worship this stuff. Are you really serious? The point here is what? Standing before the guy was amazing that he doesn't know what he's talking about. The Arabs say, فَاقِدُ شَيْءٍ لَا يُعْتِي. The one who doesn't have something can't give it. I need help from you guys, financial help. I need 5,000 pounds. Can you let me have it? Not borrow, let me have it. He says, I don't have it. So the one who doesn't have something can't give it. How are you going to give dawah and you don't know anything? How are they going to give me dawah to Christianity? I don't know much about Christianity, but I know enough to tell those people this doesn't even make sense. Jesus didn't look like that in your Bible. And what was described in the Bible about Jesus is similar to what Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The area where Jesus comes from is more like this brother right here. More like this brother. This brother. That's the color of Jesus. He wasn't my color. Nor was he some white, pale European looking either. So my point is, when I used to go with the brothers from Jamaat Tabligh, when I first became a Muslim, I was searching for the truth and I found them and I went with them. And I realized they didn't have knowledge about the religion. They're giving dawah, but they're not giving dawah with knowledge. And then when I would talk to them, because I was trying to learn, they were telling me I just gotta believe. I said, no, those days are over. My parents had me on that Christianity, telling me I just had to believe. And had I died, I'd have been from the nar of Jahannam, the hatab of the nar of Jahannam. And my mother and my father would have been a reason for that. And they loved me. So I decided back then, I'm not taking people's kalam just because it's people, Muslims. So what's the point? We have to learn, guys. Try to elevate every day in your religion. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because as I sat here, and we're brothers, don't be mad at me, we're brothers. As I sat here, a lot of people came in, and they sat down without praying. This masjid, any masjid, it doesn't have one haq on you, one right. The masjid has rights on you and me. Huquq. So my little man, what's your name, little man? Mustafa. What's your name, man? Mustafa. Mustafa, my man, Mustafa. As a young man, Mustafa is growing up. How old are you?
8.
88?
8.
Okay. Mustafa's 8 years old. As he's growing up, this little brother right here, originally from Mexico, Mexico, my little compadre, right there. What Islam did he have in Mexico? They have Catholicism in Mexico. Just same thing that happened to African Americans happened to the Mexicans. They gave them a religion to oppress them. So as these kids grow up, how do you think they're going to know about the ahkam of the masjid if their fathers, brothers, the people in the community don't teach them? How are they going to learn? So it's our responsibility at moments like this to make it a teaching moment. Now you should learn this from today. Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إذا دخل أحدكم المسجد فلا يجلس حتى يصلي ركعتين. If any of you enters into a masjid, then don't sit down until you pray 2 rakats. So some of the scholars of Islam of the opinion, and I take this opinion, that these 2 rakats of tahiyyatul masjid is wajib. Because what the Prophet said, if, from the adapter shart, if you come into a masjid, then don't sit down until you pray 2 rakats. That's the haqq of the masjid. That's the haqq. So you should come to the masjid with wudu, and even if you pray somewhere else, you pray 2 rakats. In this masjid, that masjid, whatever masjid. Now we already prayed Salat al-Asr. We already prayed Salat al-Asr. So there's no sunnah prayers after Salat al-Asr. And Imam al-Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi, he explained this very well. He said the salat, the prayer, the salat, that is sabab. The salat that has a reason behind it, you can pray it at any time, even if it's one of those times with prohibition. For an example, you pray your sunnahs before Asr, then you pray Asr, done. But now, you want to get married. You want to go into business. Someone comes and asks you, can you borrow some money after Asr? You're in the Masjid. You say, hold on, let me pray Salatul Istikhara. And Istikhara has a reason. It's after Asr. You don't have to wait until Maghrib in order to pray Asr, because you need that right now. You need his money. So if there's a salat for a reason, you thought about something, you opened up your phone after Asr, you saw something haram, you get up and you pray 2 rakats. Because Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you make a mistake, pray 2 rakats and wipe it away. He loses wudu, he gets up, go in the bathroom, makes wudu again, comes back in the masjid, he prays 2 rakat. Because Bilal told Rasulullah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, the reason why you saw my feet in front of you in Jannah when you were sleeping is because the only thing I could think of, any time I lose my wudu, in the day or night, I renew my wudu. Rasul said, that's what it is. So now those 2 rakat become the sunnah. If you make wudu, it's the sunnah to pray 2 rakats. It's not wajib, it's the sunnah. But here, if any of you comes into the masjid, don't sit down until you pray 2 rakats. And it's not okay that the vast majority of our brothers don't pray that prayer. It speaks to something. Hey, please, don't take it wrong. I'm not getting on anybody. I'm not trying to be rough. If anybody feel I'm trying to be rough, just do like this. And I'll lower my tone. I'm not trying to be rough. I want you to understand. It's not, don't take it with your back up against the wall. And another thing I always tell you, fact check. Don't just sit there and listen to me. You got phones. You go right down on Google. You can put in Urdu, those who speak Mirpuri, that thing, what Arabic, go check it. It could be your madhab. It's different than what I'm saying. Go check your madhab right now so that you can raise your hand and say, yeah, but in our madhab, this, because maybe what you're saying is right. So the point here is, we have a lot of people in here, alhamdulillah, but the fact that the vast majority of you came in here and sat down is an indication. Number one, we have to raise our game in this masjid. Now, raise our game. How do we do that? We raise our game by everybody being responsible for trying to be a more knowledgeable, more practicing Muslim. Men and women. I have to mention these things. You gotta go and learn about these things and so forth and so on. So right now, we're gonna deal with this issue, inshallah. A few days ago, last week, I think it was last Saturday, the issue came up and we were going to talk about it, but then we delayed it until today. So the topic that we want to talk about, and I really hope that you brothers really pay attention, and you sisters, because it's an important topic, and you youngsters as well, inshallah. The topic is about how can we practically, what are some of the steps that we can go and take? Some of the practical steps from the Quran and Sunnah that people can take in order to get rid of bad habits and in order to become better people in our behavior. So we all have bad habits. Everybody here has bad habits, without a doubt. And Allah knows best. You may be that special person who doesn't have bad habits, because there are people who are like that. They may be from the awliya of Allah. And yes, you can be from the awliya of Allah. The Imam Saab, Malvi Saab, the Sheikh. We got to stop looking at people like only they can be awliya. They may not even be a wali. And you may be a wali from the awliya of Allah because you're a good, decent person. And the Sheikh, he's not what you think he is. So there was a man, his name was Ashaj Abdul Qais. May Allah be pleased with him. He came to Al-Madinah with his people and they were moving around and doing stuff after he accepted Islam, and Prophet Muhammad was watching all of them. And then this particular man stood out in the way he was acting. So the Prophet kept watching him. And then when the man finally sat down, The Nabi said to that man, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inna fika khaslatayn yuhibbuhum Allah. You have two characteristics that Allah loves. So that's a proof that Allah loves. He loves in a way that befits His majesty. When Abu Bakr and Umar and those companions heard this hadith, they didn't say, how does Allah love? Human beings love. They didn't do that stuff. It was said, and that's it. The ayat was mentioned, the verse describing Allah, what He does, what He doesn't do, where He's at, where He's not. Those companions didn't use all this philosophy that the Muslims have today. He said, you have two qualities that Allah loves. He said, what are they, Ya Rasulullah? He wants to learn. Rasulullah said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-hilm wal-anat. You are halim, you are soft and gentle. You're not a roughneck. Allah loves you when you're soft and gentle with your mother, your father, with your wife, with your children, with the Muslims, with the kuffar, with the animals, the way you drive. So even if you're driving fast, you're not driving fast in the way you're going to kill other people, cutting them off road. No. Allah loves. Allah Himself is Al-Halim. It's one of His names. He said, you have that, and Allah loves it, to be soft and gentle. He said that easiness was never put inside of something except easiness beautified that thing. And roughness and coarseness was never put inside of something except it made it ugly. So if a man rides rough and tough and nasty, not looking at people and caring about people, he makes a mistake. He puts his hazards on and say, I'm sorry. Because he can make a mistake. So anything, if softness is put inside of the house, it's going to beautify the house. If it's taken out, the house is going to be hung ugly. If softness is put inside of your mu'amala, it's going to make it beautiful. If it's taken out, problem. If it's put in your zawaj, your marriage, make it beautiful, so forth and so on. So that man, he asked an act. You also have the second quality. You're not in haste. You're not in a hurry. Al-ajilatu min ash-shaytan, being in haste is from the devil. Don't be in haste. If you can afford to take your time, take your time. But if you're forced to do something, you gotta hit the ground running, make a decision. But if you can take your time, someone comes say, can I borrow 5,000 pounds, Abdul Rahman? Don't be like, yeah, of course. Give me a day or two. And then you start asking people, you know about this guy, your money? You want to marry your sister? You know about this guy? And so forth and so on. Don't be too quick. That's the sign of children. Men, on the other hand, they take their time. Men. And this is why the dawah of the shabab of Somalia, the shabab, and ism nafsu mushkil, shabab. We don't want to follow the shabab. We want to follow the ulama and the kibar. Those brothers who are political, Hizb Tahrir. I don't know the people in our masjid. I don't know a lot of you. Maybe some of the people were with these people, and I don't mean this in a bad way. But those young brothers from Hizb Tahrir who talk about the stuff, making this country the khilafah, it's kalam of, it's just a dream. It's not how the Prophet's dawah is. We pay attention to what older people say. And that's why the people who have gray in their hair, our elders, the barakah is with them. That's what the Prophet said. Al-barakah ma'akabirikum. The barakah is with the elders. It's with the elders. But we're living in a time where the millennials are here. The millennials, the youngsters. And whether we like it or not, we have to deal with the reality of this time. We have to deal with the reality of this time. So the millennials, the way society is, they grow up believing and feeling they have the God-given right, the right from Allah to have a point of view and to be heard. That's not our religion. That's not our religion. Anyway, he said, you have those two qualities. The man said, this is the point. Ya Rasulullah, are these two qualities in me because I developed them? Or are they two qualities that Allah gave to me? He said there are two qualities that Allah gave you. You didn't do anything about it. Allah gave it to you. And that's the point. First point. There are some of us who have good character naturally. You know him, he's quiet, he knows how to carry himself, he's professional, his kalam is always nice. I'm new in this community, so I met different people. I come into the masjid, the first day I came, there was a brother at the door of the masjid and he was looking mad and upset. He was upset. I said, "You all right, brother? What's the matter?" He said, "No, I'm not all right." He started telling me his problem. I said, "Well, why do you have to be in front of the door doing looking like everybody has to see that? Go upstairs somewhere in the masjid and do that way." And then I found out the reason why he's like that. He wants everybody to know he's upset. So since I came, that's his MO. I met that brother, So I'm meeting Irfan. I met Irfan. He's the cameraman. The nice camera, mashallah. I have an idea, but I met this brother. He's a quiet brother. Met this brother. So you look at some people just have good akhlaq. And some people, they have to work on it. They have bad character or bad character traits. Talk too much. He's nosy. Minds other people's business. He deals with envy. He's envious of other people's kids, of his brother, his sister. He's envious of people. He's a liar. I know a guy, he used to lie so much. He used to lie, just lie for no reason. There was no, some people lie because they're in trouble. Did you do that? No, because he's in trouble. This guy would just come and start lying. He lied so much we used to call him Bruce Lie. That was his name, Bruce Lie. Because it was known, if this guy starts talking, if his mouth is moving, he's lying. That's a bad character trait. A person has body odor. He doesn't take care of his body odor. He's not organized. He's lazy. There are a lot of things. The sister is arrogant. She won't listen. Or the person is arrogant, thinks he knows everything, thinks she knows everything. A person is a coward. Bad quality trait. A coward. Scared to stand up for his rights. So at the job, they take money from him, and they have no right to take his money. But he doesn't want to make no trouble. I just got my citizenship. I'm trying to stay here. I'm not seeing that. But they're taking your money, man. You can go under the law and get your money. So all of those bad qualities. From the bad qualities is smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, drinking, drugs, all of that. So now, everybody has to consider, what do you think your bad quality is? So where I came from, in America, the way we grew up, they taught us this false sense of, manliness. Nobody gonna step on my shoes and nobody gonna push me around. That's how we grew up. Nobody gonna push me around. So now at this age, if someone were to push me, I'm ready to fight. No, man, those days are gone. You're not 20, 18, 17 no more. You're in your 50s now. You have to get control of that anger and that thing where you came from about, I have to really protect mine. No, you still can do that, but you have to do it in the right way. So the point is, everybody, for the most part, they have bad qualities, bad character, with the exception of those special people. You may be from them. But we're talking about most of us. What are some of the things that the Quran and the Sunnah say we should do and we can do to get rid of the bad quality? He doesn't get up for Fajr ever. That's a terrible quality. He doesn't take care of the amana. He doesn't pray Fajr on time, ever. That is a bad quality. But he or she, they want to pray. They really do. And they don't like it. What are some of these things? There are many, but we'll do it 4 or 5 very quickly, inshallah, with the dalil. And why are we saying this? With the proofs. First thing we're going to mention, you want to change your bad qualities at the top of the list. The very first thing you have to do, according to the Quran and the Sunnah, is you have to believe, we have to believe it can be done. Because if you believe it can't be done, it won't be done. For an example, I smoke cigarettes. and I'm addicted to cigarettes. I've been smoking cigarettes since I was 13, 14. I've been smoking Ramadan, I don't quit it, I smoke cigarettes. Now if I say, man, you gotta stop smoking cigarettes. Stop smoking, man. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Meaning I've been doing this all my life. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. That statement is against our religion. First of all, we don't make ourselves like dogs. Rasulullah said, don't pray like the dogs. When you're in sajda, don't put your arms down like this. But the madhab will tell you for the woman, because she's a woman, she has to bring herself in and put her arms there. And the Prophet said, don't do that. So even if the madhab said this is not against the madhab. Whoever the imam is of those madhab, we love them. No scholars like them today. No scholar. But all of those imams, like Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, he said, إِذَا صَحَّ الْحَدِيث فَهُوَ مَذْهَبِي. If the hadith is authentic, then that's my madhab. So, he said, don't pray like the dog. He said, the one who gives a gift and then takes the gift back is like the dog that vomits and then licks it up. He says so many things that's dirty and nasty about the dog. The black dog is a shaitan. If it wasn't for the fact that dogs were a community, I would have ordered you to kill all of them. Dogs are bad. So we don't use those kinds of examples. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. In America, African Americans, the hip hop thing, they call each other dog. What's up, dog? What's up, dog? As a Muslim, I can't use that word. Because Islam governs how I talk and how I am. Can I talk slang? Yeah, I can talk slang. But that slang and those words that go against our religion, you remember Star Wars? Remember that movie Star Wars? Hey, I'm asking you a question. Why are y'all looking at me? You don't know Star Wars? You mean to tell me you guys don't know Star Wars, the movie? They still are. Did you ever hear Star Wars, Irfan? Yes. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. They used to say in Star Wars, may the force be with you. Can you say that in Islam? Can't say that. May the force be with you. Allahu ma'ak, may Allah be with you. So this culture, we have to be careful how we talk. You're lucky you wasn't there, man. You are lucky you didn't come. We had a pop quiz. No, we don't have any luck in Islam. There's no luck. Nothing happens haphazardly. It just happened. That's luck. Everything happens by the qadr of Allah. So this thing, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You'll never stop smoking with that attitude. A person eats a lot. He's overweight. She's overweight or something like. You won't lose weight if you don't think you can do it. You have defeated yourself before the battle even started. So whatever it is that we're dealing with in terms of we want to be better people, we want to live healthier, we want to be more Islamic. First thing you have to do is you have to believe you can do it. What's dalil? First of all, dalil is Allah says in the Quran, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah doesn't burden anyone beyond his ability. Okay, you have the ability to do it. When Allah told you, and told all of us, the things that he told, have good akhlaq, we have the ability to do it. Allah wouldn't have told us to do it because he doesn't burden people with what they can't do. So the Prophet told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inna min أحبكم إلي وأقربكم مني جلوسا يوم القيامة أحسنكم أخلاقا. The people that I love the most from you, Yom Qiyamah, the people I'll be closest to. I'm going to be close and I'll love the ones who have the best akhlaq. That hadith is the Prophet telling you have good akhlaq. So if it was something that's impossible, Allah wouldn't have ordered it. And there are many dalils. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبَلَنَا. There's an ayat that says, anyone who makes jihad for my cause, real jihad in the battlefield, jihad in nafs, jihad in dawah, whatever your jihad is, jihad in the heat wave, jihad in extreme cold, jihad in a job you have, you don't like it, but you stay in that job to be able to give zakat and sadaqah and take care of your family. Allah said, anyone who makes jihad for my cause, I'm going to guide him to that which is best, to the sabil. So those ayat and other than those ayat show us you can change. And another thing that shows you can change, listen to me. Anybody been to the circus here? Anybody been to the circus? Yeah, they don't have circuses in the UK? Sometimes talking to the UK audience is strange. Do they have zoos here? Zoos. Anybody been to the zoo? Yeah. So they have more zoos than circus, okay. If you go to the zoo or the circus, I saw with my own eyes in the circus, I saw with my own eyes the bear, the big bear was on a little tricycle riding a tricycle. Allah didn't create that bear to do that. The human beings changed his akhlaq. They taught him to do that. They taught him to calm down. They taught him not to bite them and go crazy. To the point where, are you guys listening to me? The bear was on a little bike riding it. That bear is supposed to be in the jungle. He's supposed to be in the woods, eating salmon, fish, and biting deer and stuff like that. They have him riding a tricycle. And you're going to say, can't teach a human being? Allah said about the human beings, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have honored the human being. Gave him aql, all this stuff. And you say, the bear can change, but you can't change. No, I saw with my own eyes. You know, the zoo, since you guys haven't been to the zoo, I'm going to tell you, if you ever see a real lion or a real tiger, don't be looking and say, oh, look at his beard, look at the lion's beard. That lion will eat you. Lions don't play. Them animals are big. I saw with my own eyes. The dude in America, he got eaten by a lion later on. They killed him. I saw him open the lion's mouth and put his head in the lion's mouth. That lion is washi. Washi is a wild animal. Muftaris, he will eat you. He's a predator. But that lion just opened his mouth and just let that man come in his mouth like that. Why? Because it's akhlaq. They changed his akhlaq. So if those animals can have their character change, it's not acceptable, permissible for the Muslim to say, I can't do it. If you can't do it, you won't do it. You defeated yourself. So you have to believe, I can do it. Before I go to the next point, inshallah, there's another thing, especially you young brothers, but not only you young brothers. I was with a brother traveling today, may Allah bless him for taking me on this jihad trip to Birmingham and back again. And I heard him talking on the telephone about some money opportunities with some people. You know, he will say, yo, he's trying to get a business. If you benefit, he benefit, like that. And I'm listening. I want to tell you young people, we don't want you Muslims to be people who are flipping burgers in McDonald's and Burger King. I always tell you that. If you get that job and that's all you can get, alhamdulillah, you are our brother. You're our family. But we want you guys never to allow people to tell you you can't do it. That's what they used to tell me. I had a teacher, they call a guidance counselor. When you're in America, there's this teacher who's supposed to guide you. So I had this lady, she was a straight up shaitana. She asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to be an architect. I thought it was a nice word. I really didn't know what an architect do, but I thought it was a nice word. It's a big word. I said, I want to be an architect. She said, you can't do that. You can't be an architect. Why don't you be a plumber? I don't want to be a plumber. Why are you killing my spirit? And I'm not even going to get into the color thing, but I guess you could figure out what color she was. But this is how she telling me, I'm a young man, the sky is the limit in Islam as a Muslim. The little kid is reading the Quran from Mexico. He's learning the Quran. He's reading those ayat. Wallahu ala kulli shayin qadir. He's reading those ayat. Allah can do anything. Yunus is in the well. Rasulullah traveled al-Isra wal Mi'raj without an oxygen tank. All of these things in the Quran and the Sunnah, and that kid is growing up. Suleiman is listening to the ants. He's in charge of the wind and the jinn. This kid is exposed to all of that. Musa split the Red Sea, all of that. Nobody's going to come and tell him If he knows his deen, you can't do something. And that's why the companions were poor in Medina. They were nobodies compared to Quraysh. But look how that poverty that they had, they conquered all those people. They were always the minority, and they always had less weapons, less horses, less people. But they conquered those people. And they used to tell those non-Muslims, we're going to come and we're going to deal with you. And we're coming with a group of people who love death more than you people love life. So I'm not calling anybody to kill anybody, to make that clear. I'm just making this point right here, right here. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something. Anybody, Muslim or non-Muslim. Some of you are married on the verge of divorce or something like that. Maybe your wife would tell you a bum. Maybe he tell his wife, you a bum. You'll never get another guy like me. You never get another husband like, she say, hey, as long as Allah is over the seven heavens, anything, I get someone better than you, get out of here. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something. That's the point. Now we move on to the second point. So if I ask you, I'm going to point you out. My brother holding up the wall. What's your name, Mahi? Abdurrahman Habibi. If you want to change your character, if you want to change your akhlaq, bad habits, what's the first thing you have to do? You have to believe. You have to believe. What's the dalil that you can change? What's the dalil from the Quran or the Sunnah or the life we live in? What's the dalil? What's the dalil that you can change? Allah told us you can change, and Allah doesn't order you to do what you can't do. What's the dalil from the Kitab or the Sunnah or the Waqi' that shows you can change? Allah doesn't burden you with what you can't do, and He told you to do this, and you have the ability to do it. We move on to the second one. If you want to get rid of bad habits, man, and you want to change yourself, better akhlaq, then you have to look for companions who are like that. People you hang out with. People you deal with. You know, on a daily basis. You got your ashab. We have brothers, Abdurrahman. I see Abdurrahman every day. I see Muhammad, his brother, every day. Where's the other Muhammad? I see the half Muhammad every day. I see these shabab every day. And they're always together. And where do I see them? I have not seen these guys once in city center together. I never saw them once at the cinema. I never saw them once at the weed spot. I never saw them once at the disco. I never saw them once anywhere except in this masjid. Walking back and forth from their house. Does that mean they only come in the masjid? No, they go to other places. They go to school, they go here, they go there. That one went to London. And that one went to Basaso, right? But I see them. I see one, we see the other two. The Sheikh Abdurrahman. I never saw him anywhere in the city of Leeds except he was in the first row waiting for the salah. It's a masjid where I told the brothers today, take that combination off the door, because although it allows everybody to come in, if no one's at the masjid, you can come in. But the problem is, if we get vandals, if we get kids, if we get someone coming, they'll destroy our masjid, they'll burn our masjid. So that'll be a bigger fitna. So I asked an admin, take that off, don't give everybody the key. Abdurrahman, the sheikh, is always the first one here. And the few times that he's not here, usually no one's going to be here before him. So my point here is, when I see the shabab in our masjid, I see them in the masjid. They say in Arabic, "Tuyur ala ashkaliha taqa." Birds of a feather flock together. So if you're a person who is doing haram and in the streets, and you're doing night crimes, and you know a funny Muslim, the people you're hanging around with, they're going to be reflective of that. And that's why that man who killed 99 people and then he killed 100 and went to the scholar and said, can I make Tawbah after killing 100 people? He said, yeah, you can make Tawbah after killing 100 people, but you're going to have to leave the place where you are. You got to leave that place where these people allowed you to kill 100 people. The society, the environment, it allows that. It's conducive. leave that place and go to that other place where the people are religious. So he left. Because as long as you're in that environment, it's a problem. As long as you're in that environment with the riff-raff guys like that, you're going to have problems, guys. So be around the people who are having akhlaq. Be around them. How many of you people lift weights in here? Anybody lift weights in here? Anybody work out? Oh boy, one of the signs of Yom Qiyamah is people have big stomachs. All right, one more time. How many of you guys work out and lift weights in here? Oh man, how are we going to do anything, man? Now, I have to be careful because I know here in Leeds, unfortunately, the history was that some young people from this city went off and did something that's not even legislated. So we don't want to start using language, even joking around, where we can be misunderstood as being people who believe in that stuff. I don't apologize about anything in this religion. Jihad or corporal punishment, I don't apologize about any of that. I am not for homosexuality. It's an abomination. It's haram. We'll give a khutbah against it. But you can't hurt people. It's a free country. You can't do that. And in talking about that, we're going to talk about it in the right way. So time for jihad. It's people and so forth and so on. But I'm not one of them people to run away from this. It's our religion. But what they were doing was not the religion. If only 4 or 3 people from our community work out and stuff like that, we in trouble, man. We in trouble. So I would advise you guys to work out a little bit more. Now, if you're working out, as my man will tell you, I want to work out. I can't work out with someone who's weaker than me if I'm really trying to get buff diesel. I have to work out with somebody who built, he got muscles coming out of his neck and his head, in the back of his head. I want to be like that, a little bit. I don't want one of them crazy workouts, but you have to work out with the one who is stronger than you if you want to get stronger. The same concept applies. You a new Muslim, you want to learn your religion and get stronger? Be around people who know the religion better than you. You can't be a new Muslim up here on Charles, what's that street called again? Chapeltown Road. You know this guy's name is, this famous Afro-Caribbean cat. His name is Shaggy or Sparky or what's his name? He was in that documentary with the brother, with Anwar. He did a documentary about the millionaire guy. I always feel like I'm on the island by myself talking to the guy. I saw the documentary, it was about Leeds. This guy was a millionaire, Pakistani, who wasn't practicing his religion. Then he came to Leeds, no one knew he was a millionaire, and he met up with our Anwar and other people in this city. And he didn't tell him he was a millionaire, but he reconnected with his Pakistan ethnicity and with his religion. He found himself again, and he was so happy. And then he started helping the Muslims. May Allah guide him to Masjid Rahmah. May Allah bring him back to Masjid Rahmah. Give us some of that cash. He gave up. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. And that program was an Afro-Caribbean guy from this community. Shaggy, Sparky, I forgot his name. Guy is supposed to be a Muslim. When you meet him, you start talking to this guy, you start realizing, man, what? Prophet Muhammad traveled to Ethiopia to learn the religion from Bilal. What? The Kaaba and the black stone is black, which signifies and shows black people better than everybody. What? So this is a case of a new Muslim who doesn't have knowledge, talking. You hear yourself talk, and it feels good. No, that's not our religion. When did you work out with someone stronger than you? When did you learn your religion? When did you work out with someone who's stronger than you? On my Facebook feed, news feed, newsreel, what is it called? You know, the thing that come out of Facebook. They showed this weightlifter, I mean the big weights, you know, when you do like this, in the Olympics. You know what I'm talking about? That rough one. Guy was from the Congo. He was from the Congo. He had 3 tries, and you know in the Congo they don't have the ability, they don't have stuff. First one he picked up, it fell by, boom, just fell on his neck, and the people came and got him. He went for the second time. He tried to pick it up again, he fell with it to the front. The third time he tried to pick it up, it fell this way. It was just a mess. And the reason it was like that, he's from the Congo. They don't have money to train for the Olympics. Ethiopia doesn't have money to train for the Olympics, except in the marathons, and they kill everybody in that long distance running. But the point is, because the guy was so weak, he was weak. You see, he was dealing with the big boys and he couldn't hang. So in Islam, sometimes you're a new Muslim. You're trying to hang out with the big boys, but you're very weak. So if you want to change your character, man, be around those people like that. Get you a wife who is cool and calm. She's going to enhance you. Don't get the wife going to have you, in your thing. Number 3, and a lot could be mentioned. Number 3. And what's the dalil for that? Prophet Muhammad says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-mar'u ala deen khalilihi, falyanzur ahadukum liman yukhalid. Verily a man is on the religion of his friend. Let each and every one of you pay attention who you take as your friend. The Arabs used to say, don't ask about the person. And al-mar'i la tas'alu. Don't ask about the person, but ask about his qarin. Ask about the people he hangs out with. Ask about the people that he hangs out with. Let me ask you if you would do this or not, and then we're going to move forward. There's a person in our community we don't know. Well, he came to the community we don't know about. He has a long history of child molestation. Islam gives everybody a chance to rectify their situation, right? Once you find out that this is the brother's situation, would you be easy to hang out with him? Would it be easy for you to hang out with him? You're not going to hang out with him because your own children, and you don't want, you don't want to be looked at like that. That's just an example. He's a drug dealer. Everybody knows him as a robber, drug dealer. Can't hang out with him. Giving him dawah, no problem, but hanging out. Number 3. If you want to change your character, bad qualities, one of the things you can do, guys, and let me speed this up. This is going to be the last one. We have many. If you want to change your character and bad qualities, then listen to what your enemy is saying. Don't always deafen out the voice of your adu. Because the enemy is the abraz and nas. The abraz, he is the one who really wants to show you in a bad way. He doesn't like you. So he wants to show you in a bad way. Now you can't sit and listen to what every enemy has to say, because then you won't be able to do anything. But there are some people, when they say things about you, you talk too much, you're greedy, you're nosy, you do my head in, you're a thief, they say that, perhaps, perchance, it may be true. Don't be one of those people, no matter what no. That guy, because he's your enemy, he wants to show that. So if you hear someone saying the same thing over and over and over again, then maybe it has some level and some connection of reality to it. Maybe not. This all depends. But my point is, don't just close your ears off to the one who criticizes you. Another thing, during the time of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the ways the companions rectified themselves, they took the Nabi as a sheikh. They took Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a muallim, a murabbi. You want to change your character? You want to become a better person? You younger people, let an older person who has some benefit be your mentor. Spend time with that person. Make it your business. You got an uncle, he's wise, he's a good businessman. You spend time with him. Doesn't necessarily have to just be the imam of the masjid, but if he's the imam, then he's even better. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was married to Hafsa. And Hafsa is the daughter of who? Who? Hafsa is the daughter of who? Umar. Umar had another son. What was his name? Abdullah ibn Umar. Tremendous companion. Prophet Muhammad said to Hafsa, his wife, your brother Abdullah ibn Umar is a good man, only if he didn't leave off the prayer. Abdullah ibn Umar came to visit his sister after that. Rasulullah was gone. She said, you know what the Prophet said? He praised you and said, you're a good man, only if you didn't abandon the salah. Abdullah bin Umar said, once I heard that from my sister, coming from the Shaykh, from the Nabi, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that kalam of the Shaykh about my deficiency, he said, I never left salat after that. What salat was he talking about? Huh? Good job. Good job, my man. Give me the COVID. He's talking about the Qiyamul Layl. He's not talking about Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. No companions left that prayer, those prayers. He's talking about Qiyamul Layl. Abdullah bin Umar wasn't praying Qiyamul Layl because it's not wajib. It's not wajib. He wasn't praying. But when the Nabi said he's a good man, he just didn't leave the salat off, he said, once I heard that, I never left it off. Because his muallim gave him tawjih. He was a good muallim. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abu Huraira, the hadith about no Muslim should let 3 days pass him by unless his will is written. Vast majority of Muslims, we don't have a will. And then when he dies, it's drama. Rasulullah said 3 days should not pass you by. So today is Friday. This is your first time ever hearing this hadith. Friday, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. We'll give you Monday, inshallah. Allah give you. By Monday, this hadith suggests you should have a will. Abu Hurairah said, when I heard that hadith, the Prophet said, you got your will? He said, no. He said, get your will. Abu Hurairah said, once that happened, he said, I wrote my will down and I kept it with me, and whenever I was sleeping, it was under my pillow, under my head. He was just paying attention to that thing because the Nabi talked to him directly about it, and it put him on point. So with a person who's the mentor, it could be your father and it should be your father. That's what we will hope it would be. I want to plead with you brothers who are older, you have children. Don't be one of those cultural fathers who he shows no affection, no love to his kid, his sons, or his daughters. Yeah, kiss your sons like you kiss your daughters. Like showing them affection and telling them you love them. That's how we have to be. So they grow up balanced. Because the father is supposed to be the dude who is teaching his son, not the sheikh. The sheikh is secondary, his dad. So my father was very cultural, African American. Not a lot of love, not a lot of affection. But one thing I learned from him, and that was, he stayed with my mother all of this time, and all of my friends. Their fathers are gone. And they may be children of Zina. My dad stayed with my moms all the way up until today. They're in their 80s. Number two, what I learned from him looking, he went to work every single day until he retired about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I saw that.
غرباء